From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
The Alaska legislature gavelled in this morning for a special session called by the governor after lawmakers adjourned with only a partially funded state budget.
Both the House and Senate immediately recessed. Lawmakers approved a compromise operating budget yesterday before adjourning, but the plan failed to garner the support needed in the House to authorize a draw from savings to cover costs for next year. The Democratic-led House minority opposed cuts to education and the budget plan's rejection of negotiated pay increases in labor contracts. They also wanted Medicaid expansion. Governor Bill Walker's special session call includes the budget, Medicaid expansion and reform, and legislation relating to sexual assault awareness and prevention programs in schools.
But not having a funded budget is a big deal. It's a big concern. You know, we all have said this session was about working on the budget, and then we're going to work on the revenue side. And now we're going to take the budget into the summer and into that whole process. We need to be talking about revenues, not still talking about the budget. So the budget has got to be funded. It's got to be a funded budget.
The Fairbanks Board of Education revisited its budget situation during a work session last night. The meeting came just hours after the state legislature passed an operating budget based upon a conference committee report. Following that legislative action, the school district's funding gap narrowed from $6.1 to $1.7 million. The board agreed to not cut additional staff positions until after the North Star Borough sets its local contribution level. The district has requested $7 million from the borough. That's on top of the $51 million included in Mayor Luke Hopkins' proposed budget. Notices of non-renewal of contract are due to be sent to affected district employees on May 14th, the same day the Assembly is expected to approve the borough budget for next fiscal year. School board member Sue Hull says this timeline limits the board's ability to cut additional staff.
We didn't have a list before us of potential cuts. We have employee contracts to consider, so we have some timelines that make it difficult for us to cut additional positions. So the board reluctantly, and I emphasize the word reluctantly, decided to wait on making those cuts until after we hear what happens with the Assembly.
An ice jam has formed on the Tanana River near the Boondocks corners of the Richardson Highway in Salcha. The area has been known for chronic flooding during breakup. However, a levee built during construction of the Tanana River Bridge has helped to curb flooding the past 2 springs. National Weather Service hydrologist Ed Plum says his office will continue to monitor the ice jam as the thaw continues. Borough Emergency Manager Craig Malloy is also monitoring the situation, as are Department of Transportation maintenance officials. Water has backed up into the yards of some houses along the highway. As of news time, water had gone over the riverbank, spilling into the Boondocks Bar parking lot.
A local nonprofit that provides breast cancer screening services regardless of a person's ability to pay shared their gratitude at an open house last night. Prizes, food, and art were given out to thank the community for their financial support. Artist Randall Compton supports the center with donated art, and he shared his works last night. Also revealed was the new pink ribbon-themed stained glass artwork. Through fundraising over the past few years, the center was able to purchase a 3D tomomammography machine. BCDC Executive Director Odette Butler says the new technology detects cancer better, which decreases the number of callbacks for patients. The machine's 3D capabilities make for a more accurate exam that benefits the radiologist and patient.
Instead of just 4 images, they're reading between 50 and 200 images of the patient's breast. And they can see virtually every level in 1 millimeter increments. And it's really thorough. You know, it's just better. It's better for the breast.
All right, when we come back, the mountain climbing season is right around the corner. Tonight, we'll show you what goes into setting up a base camp.
And in this week's health report, as people prepare for spring cleaning, accidents are likely to occur. We'll give you a heads up on what to watch out for. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the Fbx Evening News. The National Park Service is preparing for the Mount McKinley climbing season this year with help from soldiers in the U.S. Army 152 Aviation Regiment. Ryan Grimes flew from Talkeetna to the Alaska Range to see just what it takes to set up base camps for those wanting to summit North America's tallest mountain.
Past the plain of snow and through the clouds is Mount McKinley, and this is the Kahiltna Glacier. This is the base camp for climbers wanting to summit the humongous mountain.
The glacier is nearly 10,000 feet above sea level at its highest point.
which is only half the height of Mount McKinley. Often, climbers wanting to summit this mountain must fly from Talkeetna to the 7,000-foot level glacier base camp set up by National Park Service personnel. NPS must set up base camp first before flying people attempting the climb.
Every year getting camp established, moving our heavy loads between Talkeetna and the mountain. And we'll have rangers there with volunteers, and we try to have a small type of facility where we can house people if they're hurt and we're unable to fly them off the mountain quickly.
Park Service members are receiving help from U.S. soldiers.
Yeah, it's just much more efficient.
Pilots and crews aboard CH-47 Chinook helicopters are flying supplies needed for the camps and even helping to transport materials on the ground in return for flight access to the Alaska Range.
Normally we're not permitted to land in the national park, and Mount McKinley and surrounding areas here really gives us it's a really unique training environment that very few aviators get the opportunity to train in.
We're going to allow Chalk 1 to go in and land. They have some cargo they'll be dropping off today, and they're going to kind of precision land to get that stuff as close to where the cargo cache is, and we don't want to carry it any further than we need to.
The base camps will be located in multiple locations along Mount McKinley, even in elevations as high as 14,000 feet. Reichart says the camps are great stopping points for climbers attempting the summit, but they are also used by park rangers.
Providing interaction, providing education, providing emergency resources, and we want to make sure the mountain is, left in a way that it should be.
This is Ryan Grimes reporting from the Kahiltna Glacier Base Camp.
The snow and ice has faded away and people are outside cleaning up. It's also the time of year when a lot of injuries are reported. Monty Bowen has more in this week's Health Report.
Spring cleaning is a necessary evil this time of year, but if you are not careful, you could end up nursing a serious injury. Falls are one of the main causes of injuries in the spring.
If you take a significant fall and you're having serious pain or any deformity to a limb or back pain, neck pain, you need to get yourself to the hospital as quick as possible.
Serious falls tend to come off of a ladder or when someone is standing on a countertop or ledge to reach high places. You can decrease your risk by always using a ladder on level ground and by finding a volunteer to hold it. Cleaning chemicals can be risky too, causing burns or irritating the skin, especially if they are mixed together. The fumes alone could irritate your lungs and land you in the emergency room. Cuts are also common. Hedge trimmers and pruning shears are typically to blame, and your eyes are vulnerable when you are cleaning up, so make sure you're wearing goggles or glasses.
Whether you're weed whacking and a piece of dirt or mulch goes in your eye, or if you're just pruning a bush and you bend down and you end up taking a stick in the eye. We do see that fairly commonly.
Be sure and keep your goggles on when you're cleaning inside, too. Splashing cleaning chemicals into your eyes can cause serious injuries. This is Monty Bowen reporting.
The Health Report is brought to you by the Ear, Nose, and Throat Clinic, located in the Medical Dental Arts Building, and by Interior Women's Health, located on 1626 30th Avenue.
All right, coming up in sports, an Ice Dogs player represents Fairbanks with the league honor.
Also, changes could be coming soon for high school sports. Joe Cook has those stories and more after the break.
Welcome back, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here with your local Tuesday Sportscast. We start with the All-League Awards for the NHL, and one Ice Dogs player was recognized as one of the elite. 3-year veteran forward Chandler Maju was named to the All-NHL team on Monday. The Denver, Colorado native had a breakout year for Fairbanks. He ended the regular season leading the Ice Dogs in scoring with 77 points, which was second in the league. To put that into perspective, he scored 25 points last year. He's tallied 115 points in 146 games for the Ice Dogs. This season, he led the league in assists with 55. He also has 6 game-winning goals, which is second on the team and tied for 4th in the NA. He helped the Ice Dogs to have the 3rd best power play in the league, converting about 23% of their opportunities. Maju scored 13 times and dished out 21 assists on the power play. He's headed to Minnesota State. Fairbanks hosts the Minnesota Wilderness in Game 3 of their series this Friday. In other NHL awards, Sebastian Vidmar of the Lone Star Brahmins was named league MVP. He led all players with 80 points and 35 goals. Matt Cook of the Wichita Falls Wildcats was named Defensive Player of the Year. Topeka's Motej Tamick was Goaltender of the Year. And Blake Lazzotti is the NHL Rookie of the Year for the Minot Montoros. Dan Wildfong of Lone Star is the Coach of the Year. And the Janesville Jets, the NHL's regular season champions, were named Organization of the Year, headed by GM of the Year Joe Dibble. For all the award winners, visit webcenter11.com. The Alaska School Activities Association, or ASAA, had one of its quarterly board meetings in Fairbanks early this week. The board held meetings at Pikes Landing on Sunday and Monday and wrapped up things today. An item that was passed is that there will be an at-large berth for the 3A Boys and Girls State Basketball Tournament. The ASAA took one of the South Central Conference's 3 automatic bids and made it an at-large because Cordova will be moving down to the 2A level next year. Now, a third-place team from the Aurora or Western Conference, for example, can make the tournament. The state tournament finals will be held in the Alaska Airlines Center as well. One weekend for the 1A, 2A, and the next weekend will be 3A, 4A. Also discussed was the possibility of adding Bartlett or Chugiak to the Rail Belt Football Conference. This is an attempt to balance state conferences. The CIC has 7 teams and the Rail has 4. A decision on who will join the Rail Belt in 2016 will hopefully be made by October. Plus, Fairbanks could be a site for another state championship.
In the past, when a school has wanted to move conference, it's always been when a school requests that. So I'm going to go back and talk to the schools involved and say, do you want to make that request? If so, I feel pretty confident that the board would honor it.
There is some diversity in the state championships, and I think with Fairbanks getting our new soccer complex over there in the Fairbanks Youth Soccer fields, I think we'll be putting in a bid here in 2 years when that soccer bid comes up to host the state championships here locally.
The high school softball season starts this week. Tonight we have a little preview of the pending 2015 season. Here's more.
Softball in the interior starts tomorrow, and here's a few storylines for the upcoming season. Unfortunately, Monroe will not have a team this year due to a lack of players. The West Valley Wolfpack will look to bounce back after just missing out on a state tournament berth in 2014. Last season, Lathrop was one of the top teams in the state, finishing 2nd overall. They lost some of their top players to graduation and transfers. Kimmy Duffield, Paige Scallon-Boswood, and Diana Wilson are now at Hutch.
I really like it. It's a transition, but it's really fun, and it's kind of bittersweet because I know Lathrop girls and Hutch girls.
Which brings us to North Pole, the defending MAC champions. They only lost once in conference play, and that was to Hutchinson. With the Hawks' influx of talent, is this a new rivalry?
I expect it to be a good competitive game. I'm really looking forward to playing them. I think the girls are ready.
We know that they're really good competitors, so, I mean, they're one of our biggest competitions, so we're just going into those games ready and just preparing as much as we can before.
Both Hutch and North Pole went to state but were eliminated on the first day. The Patriots are relatively young but have veterans at key positions that learn from their state experience.
It was an eye-opening experience because we do realize that we have to work harder than we have been, and we have. We worked extremely hard, and due to the fact that we have like way more to go still, it's kind of nerve-wracking, but the state experience was the best experience, I feel like we grew as a team.
I'm looking forward coming this season, sort of building on the momentum that we've already had and picking up where we left off.
The Wolfpack will take on the Patriots to start a new softball season this Wednesday night at 7:45 at the South Davis Softball Complex.
And that's a wrap for sports tonight. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, hope you had yourself a good Tuesday because it was really a beautiful day once again. Lots of sunshine out there. Welcome back into the Fairbanks Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again talking about weather, and we are looking at temperatures once again, like I said last night, to continue to warm up into the weekend. In fact, looking at low 60s by Sunday into the first part of next week. More about that later on. Our photograph tonight, kind of a humorous one. This one, even though it says caribou up here, this moose evidently is not very educated because it parked itself underneath a sign that said caribou. Well, it should be moose, right? Again, thanks to Marilyn Hunter, I hope I'm pronouncing the name right, for sending in that photograph. And as always, if you have a photograph, send it to photos@ktvf11.com. Here's your numbers at the airport. 54 for the high, The temperature right now 52 degrees, the low last night 35. Very nice temperatures for this time of year. The record high almost 70 degrees in 1953. Only 2 degrees above for the overnight low in 2013. Your sunrise and sunset, 16 hours and 48 minutes of glorious sunshine, a gain of 7 more minutes from yesterday. On the satellite and radar, once again, a lot of moisture moving across southeast Alaska into the eastern side of the state, with mainly just some isolated showers around the Fairbanks area. Also down across the Prince William Sound and Kenai Peninsula, a few widely scattered showers there. On the map today, here's what it looks like. As you can see, looking at more showers of, rain mainly around Juneau and Ketchikan, with temperatures below 50 degrees. Sprinkles in the Anchorage Bowl, 54. Some showers around Kodiak, 56. Cold Bay, 39 degrees. Kind of chilly, cloudy skies there. Up and down the west coast, looking at 40 degrees for the high at Nome, and a chilly 18 degrees at Barrow, but not too bad in Fort Yukon, 43. Lower 48 weather, again, more rain falling across the Pacific Northwest in the form of showers, and more warm temperatures and gusty winds, providing the battlegrounds for more fires breaking out across California. Thunderstorms have disappeared from the scene, finally, across the deep south and the northern and central plains, but they're still hanging around the Florida Peninsula. That band of rain that brought the torrential flooding and tornadoes and everything is always just about moving out of the picture, moving across the Florida Peninsula. And hot temperatures are expected to return once again to the western half of the country, and that'll be baking them and continuing their drought problems, unfortunately. The jet stream will again be way up to the north, so it doesn't look like really organized systems will have a chance to get going at all. So just some afternoon thunderstorms, the garden variety you get this time of year in the Central Plains, and that's about it. So all in all, looks like a little breather for the folks down there in the lower 48. Back to Alaska for tomorrow. Snow showers expected at Barrow, mostly sunny skies at Nome, and some rain and snow showers possible in the Fort Yukon area. Here in the interior, that's going to be the best weather. As you can see, mostly sunny skies in Fairbanks, scattered clouds for Delta Junction and Healy, while over southeast Alaska, once again, rain in the picture, rain showers at Juneau, maybe some isolated showers and thunderstorms in the Ketchikan region, while over the southwest part of the state, we're looking at rain likely for Cold Bay, partly cloudy skies for Kodiak, becoming mostly sunny in Bethel. And over the south central regions, not too bad, rain showers for Homer and Valdez, but mostly cloudy skies at Anchorage. Okay, time once again for our kids' weather, and this week we're going to be spending our time with the kids from the Denali Elementary School, and tonight here's a young lady with some interesting pictures.
Hi, my name is Maris and I'm from 5th grade at Denali Elementary School in Mr. Keener's class. This is my weather picture. I did it on a tornado because I found tornadoes interesting and I drew it with markers.
What's happening on the tornado?
It's destroying the house made out of bricks and the large building, and there's lightning.
Nice picture, and again, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for sponsoring our kids' weather. Tomorrow night, we're going to have a young man here, and he'll be asking us a very interesting and unique weather question. All right, here's your forecast. For the remainder of the night, we're going to give you a weather update. The latest flood advisory is until 3:15 tomorrow afternoon. An ice jam flooding is possible on the Tanana River near Salsha. Water is backing up near the Boondocks Bar, and the jam is 1 mile long. And minor flooding is obviously likely, so keep that in mind. We'll be on top of that and let you know exactly what's going on with that situation. Our forecast for tonight, as you can see, partly cloudy and a little warmer, 40 degrees for the overnight low. Tomorrow's forecast, warming up a little bit more than it was today. Mostly sunny skies, and the good news is the 5-day outlook looks really good. Temperatures warming right into the weekend with low 60s all the way across the board. In fact, warming up to maybe the mid-60s by Monday of next week. And then again, no precipitation expected, and overnight lows will continue very warm in the mid-30s. So we had to expect that with these warm temperatures that we might get some ice jams, and that's exactly what's going on right now.
Yes, just make sure to keep vigil about that.
Yeah. It looks like it should be breaking up, though. They're not too worried about it right now. It's just one little patch, but you know, if it stays there, it's going to back things up. But the good news is it looks like upstream, it's not too bad.
And then, of course, warmer weather doesn't really help it much because then you get flooding from that as well. So you get flooding either way.
The next focus will be on the Yukon River. See what that does.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what all this warm weather has brought around? Our state bird.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
They've been, yeah.
They're dive bombing. I got to tell folks they track them on radar. They're so big.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So watch out for the kid. They may carry them off.
Yep, there's been some swarms. All right, thanks, Mike. That will wrap up this edition of the Fbx Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, survivors pulled from the rubble 80 hours after earthquake hits India. That's up next with Lester Holt.
All right, join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
Okay, we leave you tonight with more video from the Ice Jam down near Salcha. From all of us here at the News Center, have a great night.
Good night.